In this video, we're going to take a look at the power of configuring subviews to help keep your data fields organized and be able to reuse them on different forms. In this example, we're going to look at a common problem companies face when they have a discipline like mineral land here, who gets involved with lots of different activities and execute and has to complete a different set of fields which could depend on the type of job, such as drilling or abandonment, workover, the location, whether it's crown, freehold, operated or non-operated. In our example here, our mineral land team has a different set of fields depending on if the job type is drilling or the job type is abandonment. Following on to the abandonment, we've got a few related fields, and making it a little bit more complicated if it is a drilling job, we have different fields depending on the regulator of that particular state or province. So if it's in Canada, there's going to be a different set of fields related to the Canadian regulations versus if the state happens to be in the US, we'll display the US regulations. So let's take a look at see how that's set up in the software. All right, here we are in Aucerna Execute, and we're looking at a list of our jobs. We're going to open up a brand new job and just see what happens out of the box. So if we have a job type of abandonment, we'll notice that mineral land is involved, so they show up as a discipline here, and we can go and we can see what particular fields have shown up for that discipline. So during an abandonment workflow, we need to fill out specific fields related to that activity. If we head back to our job type and we change our job to something like a drilling job, and we specify that this happens to be in the province of Alberta, we see mineral land is also involved, and going to that, we now see a totally unique set of tabs and fields. And so it becomes quite elaborate what's being shown here based on the regulations in that province. And lastly, if we change our state province to something like Colorado, heading back to the mineral land screen, we see a simplified view for that state in this example. So let's jump into configuration and see how to set this up. All right, now we're in configuration. And the first thing I need to do is I need to locate my custom tabs. And from here, we've got a lot of different custom tabs and subviews for those tabs. So we're just going to isolate the ones related to mineral. And I've pre-set up a couple of examples here. We have our one related to our abandonment, our one related to the Canadian minerals, and one related to US minerals. And so from that, we can jump into the abandonment mineral tab. We'll notice that it's not active. We don't want it showing up all the time. We only want it to activate under a certain condition. And then we have our fields all separated and grouped. So this is a reusable component that we could potentially use in different contexts throughout the application. So there's my fields. And the special rule that we want for our visibility is just related to job type. If the job type is abandonment, we'll show it. Otherwise, keep that item hidden. So heading back into our Canadian minerals, this, again, not active by default, number of other fields showing up here. And you'll also notice that we can include subviews in our subview. So this is, again, a really great feature of being able to reuse parts over and over again. So if you've created a unique widget for some data capture, you can actually reuse those and call those views over and over again. In this particular case, we're referencing when the job type is drilling and then when the job state or province is in any of our Canadian provinces. We're going to display all of these fields. And for our US one, heading back there, only got a handful of fields defined. We're just specifying whether it's in the states that we operate in to show those. This particular example was against a well delivery job. However, custom subviews can be used across any entity type in the system. I hope this video has shown you how you can start using configurable subviews and help streamline your team's data entry, reuse component parts, and ultimately build more and do more with Aucerna Execute.